to the 2020 Toyota Tacoma. Now, the Tacoma gets key interior and exterior updates across the board for 2020. Now, depending upon the grade, LED headlights will be standard. There's a new grille and wheel design on nearly every model. And there's new infotainment that features Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, Amazon Alexa, and on most grades, a larger 8-inch touchscreen comes standard. And listen, that's all great, and I love it. But I also get a little personal with this, as I love the Tacomas. And at 6'2", my favorite new feature is the new 10-way power adjustable driver's seat found on all grades from SR5 and up. Yay, that's exactly right. Tacoma also gets some exciting technology on only previously found on Land Cruiser, such as an available panoramic view monitor and multi-terrain monitor, providing an improved view of objects and terrain around the truck. And as for Tacoma TRD Pro, it is equipped with new lighter wheels, sequential LED and DRL headlamps, and black tail lamps. And all grades of the new Tacoma will be available later this summer.
I mean,
More beauty.
How could we not talk about the legendary Tacoma? You guys come get a little closer, Dave. I want to make sure everybody sees this beauty right here. What we love about the Tacoma is everyone, I feel like, has a connection to a Tacoma because it has been such a great car, such a great truck in this class. Because tell everybody, when you talk about leading the class, how many years?
It's 14 years in a row to be the best-selling, there's kind of mid-size, there's different names for it, but a mid-size truck. And that's, think about that. You don't set out to do a good job to do that. You just do the best you can. Yeah. But for 14 years, and we still are up over 50% of the market share in that small, truck market. It's great. But Tacoma is just a fun vehicle. You just can't get into Tacoma and it's not, I don't care if it's on-road or off-road, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's just a great truck. And so really proud here today at Chicago to be able to kind of talk about some minor changes and some tweaks, but it's not just about that because the vehicle's always improving.
Sure.
It's always had this, Kaizen is this Japanese word for continuous improvement, and how we are continuous, this is one of our, it's probably the storybook about how we continuously improve every single year, and just had our best year ever after all these years. This happened in 2018, was our best year of sales ever of Tacoma.
Amazing, built in Texas. Tell us, is there anything new that we should really highlight special for the new Tacoma?
There are, and I say this because I don't want to also give a false. It's not that it's like the all wow. And I think because sometimes but little improvements actually make a big deal. And we talk about it, just the LED, the headlamps is a
big deal. The new sequential ones on the TRD Pro, right?
Well, the TRD Pro, the DRL, the LED DRL is important. But even just on the standard, you have the LED, the upgraded lights. We were hearing about it today. Chief engineer spent some time with telling us about how, from a safety standpoint, in a lighting zone, how it has increased so much that we actually see that as a safety move, as well as kind of just a cool look. And a lot of times and I appreciate you bringing up some of the interiors and things that we've done with the infotainment, but sometimes the littlest, most subtle things that seem to really look cool actually have a much greater even function. Oh, yeah. I think that's the kind of what we're getting out of Tacoma. And just really proud of the entire vehicle. Oh yeah. New grille, and we can go on and on.
They're so cool. And again, the TRD Pro, it's hard not to have that be our favorite because it's such solid stuff. It's that tough, go anywhere, do anything feeling that I think so many of us love.
Tacoma, even the name is cool. I mean, I don't know. I get it. I'm totally biased, and I love it, and so are you. But the fact is, I think the TRD Pro for Tacoma was kind of what put us on the map with it, right?
Sure.
And you think about it, TRD, about 60% of all Tacomas sold have some sort of TRD package. See, TRD has been really involved with this in their engineering and making the products, whether it's a TRD Pro or not.
Right.
Think about that. Almost 60% of everyone has some sort of TRD equipment on them. It's just showing what people are saying they want to do, because it's not just about an on-road, but it's to be able to experience it in many ways.
Totally. And you know what's cool about when you think about the Tacoma and really the heritage of the vehicle, it started with, so many people remember, I had a 73 Hilux that was really like, it was sort of the predecessor that I kind of turned into a rat rod, and that one was lowered. I had a 93 pickup that was like my project drift truck. But
what year?
That was a 93. Okay. It was neon green. It was not my prettiest project. You've seen my wide body purple Tundra.
Exactly.
It's a lot prettier.
I like that one.
That one's awesome. Last summer, what I love about the Tacoma, last summer here in Chicago, my wife's family had a bunch of furniture they need moved. And to rent a truck and get something was so expensive, I just couldn't wrap my mind around it. I went to a dealership, I bought a 2007 Tacoma with 245,000 miles, ran like a dream, AC, everything, loaded it full of furniture, and my 10-year-old daughter Elsie and I drove that home to Atlanta and had the greatest road trip. Like, what? Talk about bonding and everything. I got home, and 2 days later, one of my best friend's brothers bought it because he saw it. He was like, "Oh man, I always wanted one of those."
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay, and then boom, that was gone. Do you have? I know you've had some experience with Tacomas too, right?
Well, I have, and I just want to say though, you talk about buying at 245,000. How many people don't do that?
Right.
Okay.
Well, they don't if it's not a Tacoma.
That's exactly. And when you do that, that's not that strange.
No.
It's like, oh, 245. We'll just go another 200, whatever the number might be.
And the value that these things hold, people know if you're into Tacomas and you see like, oh man, there's a reason that they can hold their value like that.
Well, and it's still, I feel like it's a plug for the company, but I'll give it anyways. It still has the best resale value of any vehicle in the entire United States. And it continues there, so it's #1 again and again and again, and that's great. My story, we all have Tacoma stories.
Yeah.
I got to drive them since we brought them out, been in the company for a long time. Well, my own personal is about 7 years ago, I guess it is. Got back into a Tacoma, I had left Scion, I was now in the Toyota marketing group, and we were going after it, and it was awesome because I got right back into Tacoma. Drove that for 3 years, it's a black one, it was all cherried out, had great new upgraded wheels, and my son says, well, I want that one, so I get to hand it, you talk about handing it over to a friend, or get to hand it to my son, he's driving it today. My other son says, God, I like those trucks. He wants to get a new one, so now he's in a 2018, he kind of wanted to outdo all of us, and so I had to get out of that one, and now I had to move to Texas, and so now I had to go from Tacoma to Tundra, so I stepped up. Everything's bigger and better in Texas, and so I had to get to the Tundra, and so we're a truck family.
Isn't that funny? Everybody, it's so funny how many people have a heritage story like that. For the Tacoma, and we want to hear your Toyota heritage stories, whether it's the Tacoma, the Tundra, the Sequoia, the 4Runner, whatever yours is.
The Land Cruiser.
Land Cruiser, I've got 3, so I have a lot. But we want to hear your stories. Make sure you share them with us. Tag Toyota on Facebook and Twitter, and Toyota USA on Instagram, because we want to share your stories too. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Jack Hollis, always a pleasure.
Rutledge is the man. Keep following him.
So much fun. Thank you guys. Have a great day.
Thanks.